this tension, a feeling I never was expecting. I don't see the pros, don't know the cons, forget the whys. Do you know why?
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this podversation. This is going to be a continuation of my thoughts on the demise of TGIF on Fox Soul, the 3 hosts that have been dismissed, that have been fired, and I'm doing them individually. I started with Reynolds, going in alphabetical order. I thought I'd do that. So now we're going to go to Armon Wiggins. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on him. 1, because he wasn't there that long. And 2, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on anybody, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on how I believe each individual person contributed to the demise of the show. But when it comes to Armon Wiggins, like I said, he wasn't there that long. So this is what I'm going to say when it comes to him and how I believe he contributed to the demise of the show and why I just feel that it was foolish for him to do so. So first and foremost, I just have to say this. I am someone that has been subscribed to his channel for years, and I don't watch a whole lot of his commentary because I'm not into the female rap stuff. So it's just not something that I really care to listen to. But what I will say is this. I've seen a lot over the years. I've seen him grow. I think when I subscribed to his YouTube channel, he may have had about 5,000 subscribers. He's well into the 6 figures. But the thing that I believe, this is my personal opinion, and he may not ever admit it, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But he definitely has been able to grow his YouTube channel based off of the controversy of him having back and forth, or maybe even just not even the back and forth, but just him having the heat for larger platforms that are seen as controversial as well, like Tasha K. At the time, Jason Lee, the, T.S. Madison, he's had some back and forth, with and has said some different things. And then he's had some weird connection to Larry Reed of the Larry Reed Lies YouTube channel. And also he's been able to get that connection with Cardi B because when he has been going off about and on Tasha K, and because of what Tasha K was going through with Cardi B with the court, the lawsuit situation, I believe that drew the attention of Cardi B, and it allowed him to be able to have this access to Cardi B because of his feelings and thoughts and how he was unapologetic in sharing his thoughts, even if it were just loud, ugly, or whatever, about Tasha K. Cardi B enjoyed it. Let's just be honest. So that was something that gave him an opportunity to get access to this A-list celebrity, okay? But doing the things that he has done has drawn a lot of controversy. So him having the opportunity to get on this platform where he would be able to get a regular paycheck, not based on work that he would have to create and produce himself, like he has been doing on his own YouTube channel. I don't know how much money he makes on his YouTube channel. I don't even care because I'm not even one of those people that looks to see how much people are making from doing YouTube. I don't care because it's none of my business. If people share what they do, then I hear it, but I'm not looking to seek that out and find what they're doing. But I'm assuming he was putting a lot of work and effort into what he was doing. And I respect that. I could do nothing but respect that. But he has had the opportunity to be on the show after having falling out with Tasha K, after having a falling out with Jason Lee, having a falling out even with Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? It's made him look like he does not necessarily think rationally and put a lot of thought into not moving in his emotions and in his feelings. I often say that don't make decisions in your feelings, because your feelings will either fool you, make a fool out of you, or all of the above. And to see how he got the opportunity to come on that platform to try out, so to speak, and be the one that they chose out of all of the other guests that were on there. And granted, they may have offered it to other people where they declined. I don't know. I'm not getting into all of that. But ultimately, he was offered the opportunity and he accepted it, right? So to have that opportunity for such a short period of time, when he literally went around to campaign on other people's YouTube channels to watch, to comment, to like, to share, to support, he campaigned for that job. Like, honestly, it's almost like a politician. So to go and campaign for that job, that opportunity, and not put some thought into doing that roast that he did, saying the things that he said, even though, like I said, I don't think that he said anything in the roast that was a lie, but was it appropriate for being on the show? Like I said, it would have been one thing if they all went out to a birthday dinner, whatever, something that wasn't on company time, and he said those things, that would be different. Because what is done off of company time really isn't the company's business, unless, God forbid, it was like a assault situation, or something like that. But words, they don't care, but it was done during the company time. And maybe it's been such a long time. I don't know his personal business like that, but maybe it's been such a long time since he has either had a job where he was working, where people were telling him what time to show up, what time to clock out, what is appropriate, having the rules bylaws, guidelines, employee handbook, employee manual, whatever, where you are basically told what you can and cannot do, that he just didn't know it's possible. Or maybe he never had a job, because, we're living in a time now where a lot of people, they don't really work regular jobs. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be online. Everybody wants to just roll out of the bed, turn on a camera, do something goofy or whatever, and make money. That's not the majority's opportunity or wheelhouse to be able to do that. There's a lot of companies out here that could use but would benefit from, and other people could benefit from, equally working together so that you can earn an honest living, build up your experience, your portfolio, your 401k, your retirement, all that other stuff, versus just trying to do everything on your own, because it's not meant for everybody to be an entrepreneur. It's not meant for everybody to work for so-called themselves. Well, when I say when you work for yourself, you're not really working for yourself. You're working for all of the hundreds or maybe even thousands of people that you're going to be serving and hoping to appease and please them. Sometimes it's not ideal to do that for everyone, because you just don't have that type of personality or work ethic or whatever to be able to do that. But with all of those things being said, he did not use his better judgment, if he, had it or never had it. I don't know, because common sense ain't common to some people. So he was able to do that roast and do it without thinking about it. And ultimately, this became an issue, because in that Fox 5 interview that Reynolds did, they also talked about that roast. I didn't play that part, but that did not look good. A lot of other people saw what Armon did and said, and there may be people that would never want to do anything with him because of the choice that he made to do that. Whether Claudia put him up to do it, helped to craft it, helped to write it, helped to influence, whatever. Ultimately, he's a grown man, and he could have decided that, you know what, I'm going to not do this. And sometimes, even with text messages, it's smart. If you're going to be sending someone an essay text message, you probably shouldn't do it. I often say if you have to send someone a book or an essay, then just send a text and say, hey, can we schedule time to talk? Now, you may want to have something in writing as proof for whatever you're going to say. So, try to wrap it up. But if it's going to be long, you probably need to type it up, read it, review it, and sit on it before you send it, and then read it again. And there needs to be some things you're probably going to go in there and edit and change before you hit send, because you really should not do things like that in your feelings. He was already feeling some type of way. He was saying that Al was going and talking to people, trying to get him fired, trying to get the show canceled. Claudia referenced the same thing. And then when the show was announced that it was canceled, he made, at first, a PG announcement that it was canceled. And then he came back to make another statement about it in his emotions and in his feelings. And then, he talked about it a little bit more. Now, I didn't get to save those, and I wish I did, because he went and took them down. And it's like, dang. Like I said, I wish I had saved it, but, I didn't. But he went and he took them down. And I believe that he went and took them down because he probably got a nudge from somebody to say, you know what, I don't think that's a good idea, especially if you're going to try to get, another opportunity after this one to bash the person that may be, not saying there's any proof of it, but maybe in the good or better graces of the people over there at Fox Soul than you are right now. So if I were you, I would go ahead and take those posts down. But, he first did the PG post to just announce that the show has been canceled and thank all the soulmates for the, support, and thanks for the opportunity. And then after that, he came and did another post pretty much, saying that, you know what, I want to say what I want to say, but then if I do, then people are going to say, oh, well, this is what you do, and that's why you can't ever, keep nothing or keep any connections with people, and somebody's always going to say something, so man, just F it. And then he did another post to say that, yeah, it's true, Al was trying to get me fired. So I just don't believe that he was ready for prime time. I felt like it was something that he could possibly make work. Maybe after all of the other things that happened in the past with the previous mentorship that he claims was not a mentorship, but I believe that it was a mentorship that just did not work out. I don't believe that he didn't attempt or she didn't try. And because when I learned later that he would have her phone number and he was calling her and talking to her and whatever, then it led me to believe that, well, he knew what he was doing when he was doing what he was doing on his YouTube channel, saying all of the things that he was saying about Tasha K to his subscribers and his supporters and his followers. But all along, not saying that he was her friend, but all along, he was in communication with her, or if he needed to be or wanted to be, he could be. Because the way he would go off about her, it was leading me to believe that she was non-existent to him, but he knew she existed. So if he needed to talk about her or wanted to talk about her, he would do so for the sake of definitely his YouTube channel and those views. Because say what you want, him doing what he was doing over those times, those periods of time when he was doing things and saying things about Tasha K, it indeed helped to grow his platform and his channel, because there are a lot of people who are subscribed to his channel that don't like Tasha K, period. Let's just keep that real. And that also helped to put him into the bird's eye view of Cardi B. So much so that even when Tasha K was, she was expressing some emotions, because this is during the time when Cardi B was talking about taking herself out. And Tasha K, she was not doing a video just to talk about that, because that's another thing that people either misconstrued or didn't want to, speak the truth about. She was not talking just about Cardi B, but she mentioned her in this video where she was talking about a number of different things. But I don't believe that she was lying when she said, I wouldn't want to see this woman take herself out because of, things that are going on and her emotions are erratic and all over the place. And she issued an apology. Armon, he went off on his own platform to basically warn Cardi B not to accept her apology. And then if you do, then this and that and the other. And it's like, well, why are you so heavily involved in that sense? Like, seriously. But again, it helped to grow his channel. Going off on Jason Lee and burning Jason Lee's book. Again, after they had a falling out, something else, more controversy, helped to grow his channel. Him having those times when he was going off on T.S. Madison and then T.S. Madison's former assistant, Gio, having a phone conversation on live with Armon going off on T.S. Madison helped to grow his channel. Like, I'm just basically saying. So all of these things that he has been able to attach himself to, or people that has helped to grow his channel, I was thinking him having the opportunity to be on Fox Soul was going to help to maybe mature him a bit, help to evolve him, somewhat. And maybe this was him turning over a new leaf, because prior to him getting on Fox Soul, he had pretty much been out of, I guess, the good graces of Cardi B. And he did a video where he was giving a review on a single or whatever she had released. And he just said, she just pretty much needs to just come out and say she's a influencer at this point, which could have been his personal true feelings about her. And I don't have an issue with that. But I'm basically saying that prior to that, almost everything that she touched was gold to him, So I thought, okay, well, maybe this is his turning over a new leaf, being done with that. One of my clients, who's a friend of mine, she had told me that he privated the majority of the content that was on his YouTube channel after he got announced as the new co-host for the show. It's like, what? She said, yeah, girl, he privated a lot of his videos, and a lot of the people on his community wall were going off on him. And that was news to me. I said, wow, that's crazy. But again, moving in the emotions and in the feelings, because after the TGIF show was canceled, then he did another post after those posts where he basically was saying, I'm so glad my good sis T.S. Madison told me, no matter what happens, don't ever get rid of your YouTube channel because blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah, I could never be fired. Well, again, you haven't been on YouTube long enough and doing what you were doing on your own long enough to know that you just got this opportunity. You hadn't even been on there for half a year, let alone a year. And you were not saying getting rid of the YouTube channel, but were privating or hiding a good majority of the content that people wanted to see, or they might have gone back to replay at another time that they wanted to enjoy so that you could get your views off of that. Like, really? Because even with Funky Dineva, he had slowed down a bit, but honestly, he was like that anyway. Funky Dineva, he would have his times over the years where he would be extremely consistent, and then whatever was going on in his life, he might fall off a little bit, and he wasn't producing content as often as he was. So when he got on TGIF, he wasn't really posting on there as much as he had been. Every once in a while, he might do a video, but that's why I believe that he knew the gauntlet was coming down on him, because it did start to pick up. He did start doing more commentary on his YouTube channel again. So I felt like he felt the tides were turning, not so much for the show in itself as a whole, but for him. And when those tides started picking up and the waves started getting bigger, then he started doing more content and more content. And then ultimately TGIF was done with Funky. And then when he got pissed that he felt like someone owed him loyalty to not bring someone on the show that he said as long as he was there, they would never be there. But you're no longer there, so why do they owe you that loyalty to keep Flame Monroe off of the platform? And because he got pissed about that, he decided to go live during the same times they were going live to directly compete with them. And it did affect them. And that's Fox Soul's bad. That was not Claudia, Al, or, anyone on TGIF's fault. That was the network's fault that they did not have him sign a non-compete and non-disclosure agreement. Like, who did that? Even, it's ridiculous that they did not do that, knowing that they used him because, they used Funky Dineva, but even if they were using him, they were not smart in using him to try to prevent him from bringing the show down by directly competing with them at the same time. They couldn't stop him from doing his YouTube channel, but they definitely could have said, you cannot go live during the same times, and maybe even like a half hour before we are going live on this platform. And you cannot speak about us. You cannot. So he was doing all of those things. He was talking about them. He was directly competing with them at the same time. Fox Soul, they completely messed up. I said that back then when he was dismissed, that they really messed up by letting him go the way that they did. Because they definitely should not have extended the contract for another 6 months and not get him to sign a non-compete and a non-disclosure agreement. Actually, that should have been done in the first place because they were on the same platform that they found him on. No, that wasn't the only platform that they were on, but it was a big one. So with all of that being said, with Armon coming on to replace Funky Dineva, and then things not working out, and then him saying, well, I'm glad I listened to my good sis TS Medicine and I didn't get rid of my YouTube channel. It looks like that was where he was about to go. Because even before he got that opportunity, he was looking at shifting his content and doing things differently. And I remember even one time he had did some commentary where he was pretty much talking about not really going live anymore because it wasn't, I guess the checks wasn't checking like they used to check. When he was putting all of that effort and time into doing that, I don't know. Again, I don't look at what other people are making, so it's none of my business unless somebody divulges or shares it on their own and I just hear what they say. So if it were not for him doing things like he has done, in my personal opinion, operating in his emotions and feelings a great deal, then that roast would not have contained a lot of the things that was said. And ultimately the show was going to end, but I don't think we'd be talking about cancellation or even a hiatus. They would have just been on their 1 or 2 week vacation or whatever it was going to be, and then they would have returned. So yeah, he was a contributing factor to the demise. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on that briefly. You can let me know yours in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
Again, don't wanna talk.